Good evening and welcome to Budget Model Railways. So this is part two of the layout that everybody has room for. Stick with us, quite a bit of talk about some really unusual ideas for this layout, and you can see I've already done something a bit different, which is ballasting, some news on an exhibition and so on, so stick with us. So it's a really compact layout. For those of you that didn't see the first video, it's 22 inches or 56 centimetres long by 11 inches, about 28 centimetres wide. Built using FlexiTrack and a couple of bits of set track and 3 points. Worth pointing out, this is all second hand, so I'm going to wade into that discussion that seems to have started again about second hand track. Absolutely nothing wrong with second hand track. All the layouts you see from us built over the years have all been built with second hand. Now, would I buy second hand Hornby 00 points? No, I wouldn't, but then I wouldn't buy them new either. But with something like Pico, especially if you can have a look at them before you buy them, but track I just don't get. Track is plastic and metal. There's nothing that can go wrong with it. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't buy second-hand track. You might just need to change a few fish plates. This FlexiTrack actually came very second-hand from my local amenity tip shop. So the layout so far has not really cost me very much to do. And it's designed to run the Kato Pocket Line range. This is the really excellent classic trams. These have actually come down in price. So at the time when everything in Model Railway seems to be going through the roof, actually a lot of the Kato stuff is coming down in price. These are down to sort of 55 instead of 61. And in fact, some of the new Kato locomotives, even some of the big Bo electrics, are only £60 new if you go on train tracks. So first big difference is I've ballasted. Something I've not done hardly at all. I didn't have the ballast mat I wanted. That's what I would have preferred, was to run ballast mat. But I thought, let's give it a go at ballasting. So I've done it in the traditional way. I've just done 3 videos on it, so I'm not going to talk about it a great deal now. There's 3 videos if you want to have a look at how I did it. All I've done since then is to paint the track brown. I had some Daler Rowney acrylic brown artist paint, much, much cheaper than buying model paints. And that's painted the edge of all the tracks dark brown. And then I've dry brushed it today with some dark earth, just to stop the sleepers looking quite so plasticky. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit more. Right, bear with me a second. There we go. Stop the sleepers looking quite so plasticky. Brings out the detail on the wood grain, and also adds a bit of brown to the dirt to the ballast to give you a more original look. It did confirm why I don't like ballasting, doing it. It's quite good fun to do, it's quite therapeutic, but cleaning it afterwards is a complete pain. The points in particular have had to be really thoroughly cleaned after each stage to make sure they still work. But it does give you a really nice, realistic look. So, plans for the layout. So, I've got this, bought that second hand, couple of quid. I like it because one of the few buildings I've got from my late father's Model Railways is the HO version of that. So that's going to go there, give us a bit of a goods yard. So Saturn built this today. This is the Gagemaster Kestrel Bungalow, which will be the 3rd time I've used this as a station. A really good little station building. All I've done is add a canopy there, some ridge tiles from Metcalfe, posters and notices, blocked a window off because a bit like the Daypole ones, there's too many windows, and that will sit there, but with a platform here. So we'll use the Continental idea. We have a very small platform here, and that's your platform there. Now I was going to have a road bridge here over this end, fairly normal for me, running to a level crossing over the back there. But what I've actually decided to do is to make this with the middle almost as a scenic break, so that you've got, if you like, 2 layouts. So in fact, there'll be a road bridge here, which will slope down to a shallow bit in the middle and then back up. And then from the shallow bit, there'll be a road down to the station and a road down to here. And then I'll put as many trees and things like that as I can through here to give it a scenic break, so that you can either use the layout from this side, your good siding, or that side for passenger. And that could be quite fun actually, because if you can use it as a layout in one, and you've got goods in here and passenger in there and whatever you want in here. But if you wanted to turn it the other way around and run passenger services, you could have 3 passenger trains going through. If you wanted to run it just goods, you could have 3 goods trains running through. So it gives you some interesting opportunities. Now, some ideas that people gave me from the earlier videos, for which thank you, is of course forgetting that if a consist is the wrong way around, I can just run it around like a giant loop. So if I pull goods out of here, I can run round with a loco and shunt them into here. Hadn't thought about that. Somebody did point out that if I put a point in there, I would have got the usual second siding that you need for an inglenook without having to lose a point here, which makes it short. Now that's going to be really useful in other layouts, but I didn't have another left-hand point, so I wasn't able to do that this time. And also somebody pointed out that, I'm sorry I'm not good with names, you know who you are, thank you. You could in effect use this as an entrance to a fiddle yard. So you could run a plank off of there and then run different locos around, which is really helpful. So some nice ideas coming in, thank you. I'm really quite looking forward to doing this. I've got 2 other projects on the go as well. So I've got my Japanese shunting layout, which is really coming along nicely with the paddy fields now. And I've actually got a larger first radius oval, which I've been tinkering with, and I've just expanded that into loads of sidings. I haven't done a video on that yet. That is to come later. And strangely enough, I have ballasted that one as well. So that's quite an interesting project because that will allow me to run my bigger diesels and electric locos on it. But this is quite enjoyable at the moment. One of the nice things with such a small layout is you've got the time to take a bit of care and get it looking really nice. Now I'm going to put an engine shed down here. So I bought some of the Wills corrugated plastic sheeting. I'm going to make a little engine shed, just that length there, just to take a loco, just to make it a bit different. And then the exhibition news is that May the 10th, put it in your diaries, I will be taking the Japanese shunting layout to the Sompting show. So details out a bit later, but put it in your diary. As soon as we've got locations and that sort of thing, we'll let you know. It's in West Sussex. And it's possible, I'm going to have a couple of tables. I might take this to exhibit as well, or one of my other Engage micro layouts. This I haven't talked about. So this is just a bit of foam board. Now this is one of the interesting things we tend to forget, which is in real life, the stations tend to be on the same level as the ground. You don't have to come up to them. So model railways, we all put stations up on its own funny little hill and we put steps up and things to it. In fact, most railway stations aren't like that. You walk into them from ground level. Same with the goods yard. Now what that also gives, it gives me 5 or 6 millimetres higher so that when I do my road bridge, I don't have such a steep slope. So that's a useful thing to bear in mind. And that's an offcut that I had from a back scene, which is why it's blue. And the brown splodges are when I was getting rid of paint to dry brush the track. So all in all, quite a nice little layout. It's for such a small layout, it's not a novelty layout. It's not one of these built in a suitcase or a box file. This is an operational layout. I can run 3 different trains on it. I can shunt in it. I can run a passenger service. And scenically, it's going to be quite interesting as well. But it's going to be an in-the-round layout. It's not going to have a back scene. You're going to be able to view it from all sides, which is something I did on my last layout that I did quite a lot of work on that some of you have seen. So there we go. Bit of progress. I'm not expecting a lot of progress the next few weeks. It's Christmas. Doug's home from uni. We've got family coming for Christmas. And obviously we're going to spend quite a lot of time together. So I'm not expecting to get a lot done. Did get out to Sompting Club last night, which was really good fun. And we're working on an Engage layout there, which is really enjoyable. A big shout out for them. A lot of people query why. It's an interesting ride, actually. It takes me an hour and a quarter to get there because of the traffic, but I can get home in 45 minutes. It was a bit of a cold ride last night. But I like the guys at Sompting. We've known them for quite a few years. They're very friendly. And that's why I go all the way out to Sompting. And I would thoroughly recommend joining a model railway club if you can find a friendly one. You need one without the rivet counters, which is what I like about Sompting. There we go. Enjoying watching the train go around. Hope you're enjoying your model railways, whatever you're doing. Do just build one. Still coming across this quite a lot. People saying one day. Don't collect. Don't be a collector. Be a railway modeller. Take whatever you've got. Bang some track down. Build a nice simple layout and run some trains. Build something small, just to practice, just to run your trains. Don't collect. Don't buy all this stuff, shove it in boxes, and in 10 years' time say I'm going to have a model railway one day. Nothing beats actually having a model railway and running it. However nice they look in their boxes, there's nothing quite the same. This is a tiny little layout. Everybody's got room for it. It would only be 4 times the size if it was 00. So even if you model in 00, it's possible. The nice thing about this, as you can probably see, is this is a kitchen worktop. So it's far too cold in the conservatory, which is where my study is, or even in the cabin, to model. And the advantage of it in such a small layout is I can pick it up and bring it in the kitchen. Although I have got the washing up and the drying up to do in a minute. So it's not just model railways in the kitchen. And then I can clear it away. So happy Christmas to you all, and we'll speak to you again soon.